Hi Year 4, welcome to the first distance learning session of 2021. I can't wait to see you all again soon, but I really hope you'll enjoy the next few weeks of distance learning we've got planned for you. As you can see, for the first couple of weeks, we're going to be historians. Now, here's what that means to be a historian. We've seen this statement before. You can pause the video and have a little read through it again, but we've all seen this before. Now, these you probably haven't seen before. These are the key concepts of history. They're themes that come up across all parts of history, no matter what period you're studying. These things always remain the same. These are the sort of things historians look for and use to help them study history. So for the first one, historical records establish the dates of past events and their order in time. This is known as chronology. We often see this as a timeline. The past is divided up into eras or periods, and these are concurrent with other eras or periods. So, although you may have a timeline of, say, Britain, you have to understand there's also a timeline going on in ancient China, for example, or in South America. There are lots of things that are happening at the same time. One of my favourite parts of this is that during the Tudor period, which I know you studied in Year 3 in your British history study, was when the Great Wall of China was being built in China. It's always fascinating to see those sorts of links. The next one, historical periods have religious, cultural, technological, social, and economic and hierarchical structures. We looked a bit at the last one, at hierarchical structures last time. You can see in the little picture there, that is the hierarchical structure of Saxon society. But they'll also have technological structures. So what technology were they using at the time? How were they farming? What tools were they using? Social and economic. So what did the people do? How do they earn money? Was it quite a wealthy time or not? And religious and cultural is what traditions were prevalent throughout society at that time. The next one, some events or people are given special significance in history. So we remember certain things across history. So, for example, like the Second World War is a significant event in history. Henry VIII was a significant person. And some abstract terms are prevalent throughout history. Civilization, empire, invasion, rulership, inheritance, tyranny, rebellion. So, for example, if we look at empire, well, there were lots of empires across history and all over the world. The Roman Empire spanned most of Europe and North Africa and parts of the Middle East. At a different time, there were different empires across parts of Asia that were ruled by parts of Japan or parts of modern China now. Mongolian Empire was also in Asia. You had the Mayan and Inca empires, which took up much smaller parts of land but were around for a lot longer. But the main concept we're going to be focusing on this week is that some events or people are given special significance in history. More importantly, the people part of that people are given special significance. And today we're going to look a bit at why that is and who these people could be. So let's play a quick game. You can pause the video for a few minutes if you want and see if you can name these famous historical people. So you can write down a piece of paper or a whiteboard or anything you've got to write with the numbers 1 to 8 and try and list all those people. I'm going to play a timer that you can hear that lasts for a minute, but if you want a bit longer, you can just pause the video. Okay, so that's a minute, but feel free to pause the video if you want a bit longer. I'm going to reveal the answers in 3, 2, 1. So number 1 was Henry VIII, who you studied last year. Number 2, Martin Luther King. Number 3 was Adolf Hitler. Number 4 was Queen Victoria I of Britain. Number 5 was Winston Churchill. Number 6 was Edward Colston. Number 7 was Isambard King de Brunel. And number 8 was Florence Nightingale. So, yes, some people or events are given special significance in history, but why is that? I think the quote that sums this up best is one by George Santayana, who said, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Now, sometimes we remember people for the good things they have done, like Martin Luther King. He was an important figure in the American Civil Rights Movement and strived for equality for black people across the United States, and also his impact was felt across the world. Florence Nightingale was an innovator of modern nursing and used statistics to help combat preventable diseases. She really helped out in the Crimean War when she found out that quite a lot of people were dying from diseases rather from the war itself, and saved a lot of lives. Sometimes you remember people for the bad things they have done. Adolf Hitler was a fascist dictator who was responsible for the death of 6 million Jews and the aggression that started the Second World War. He wasn't particularly kind to his own people. And sometimes there's a bit of debate over whether they were good or bad. You obviously would have seen in the news over the past year about Edward Colston. That picture is of his statue that is now no longer on a plinth. He donated lots of money to charities in Bristol and helped to build lots of it, hence why the statue was built of him. However, he earned that money by owning and trading slaves. Winston Churchill also came into light during this time as well. He led Britain through most of the Second World War, and many see him as a national hero. He's even on some of our money. However, he was also responsible for causing a famine in India during his time ruling over there, which some say dampens his legacy somewhat. So, your task today is to research one of the people we talked about, or someone else from history that you feel is important. Then, answer these questions. Why were they an important figure in history, and why do we still talk about them today? There might be a bit of overlap in those questions, but if you do enough research, I'm sure you'll be able to find out an answer that will be specific to both. So we still talk about these 8 people, but are there any more you can think about? I hope you have a lovely day, and we can't wait to see you all again soon. I'll see you tomorrow for some more history learning. Bye.